As you listen to these words, you might start to recognize a part of you that has always been quietly watching, a part that notices what other people miss. Some traditions call this figure the seer. The seer isn't a character out there somewhere in myth or legend. It's an inner presence. The way your own awareness can read between the lines of life, sense subtle shifts in energy, and feel the truth of a situation. In the next few minutes, you're invited to simply notice what happens in you as we explore this archetype. Think about the moments when you've walked into a room and instantly felt the atmosphere before a single word was spoken, or the times you've had a dream, an image, or a sudden knowing that later proved strangely accurate. That quiet faculty in you, that sense of, I can tell something is going on here, is the seer at work. The seer doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It shows up as a gentle pull in your gut, a soft pressure behind your eyes, or a pattern you keep noticing. You don't have to force this part of you. You don't have to make it more mystical than it already is. Just by acknowledging that it exists, you begin to be in relationship with it. When the seer is in its healthy expression, it brings a kind of clean clarity. You still feel your emotions, but you're not drowned in them. You still have thoughts, but you're not completely fused with them. From this place, you can watch your own life with a little more space. You can say, interesting, I always react this way, and instead of judging yourself, you become curious. A balanced seer notices patterns and then asks, what is this showing me? Listens to those quiet inner signals and then checks them against what's actually happening, and uses insight not to feel superior, but to move toward greater honesty and alignment. You might feel this as a steadying inside your body, a sense that you can witness what's happening without needing to rush to fix it. Of course, every archetype can twist into shadow, and the seer is no exception. One shadow form appears when this part of you has been pushed down for a long time. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive, or that what you noticed wasn't real. It became safer to doubt yourself. In that dormant seer state, you might ignore obvious red flags or talk yourself out of what your intuition is signaling. The other shadow form is when the seer is overpowered and fused with ego. Here, what you sense feels like absolute truth. You might start to believe your insights make you special. It can be tempting to use people's wounds as a way to feel above them, or to steer them where you think they should go. In that state, perception stops being a gift and becomes a weapon. Bringing the seer into balance is less about becoming more psychic and more about becoming more honest. Honest about the signals your body gives you, the subtle yes and no that rises up in certain environments. You might begin simply by giving this part of you your attention. When you sense something, you pause. Ask, what am I noticing? Where do I feel this in my body? This allows the seer to deepen without taking over. Over time, living with an integrated seer can feel like walking through life with a quiet, trustworthy ally at your side. A subtle companion that keeps nudging you toward what is more true, more aligned, and more awake. If you recognize yourself in the seer, you're not alone. On this channel, the seer is just one figure in a larger inner cast that includes the magician, the lover, and the warrior. If you'd like to keep exploring how these forces move through you, you're welcome to continue with this archetype series. Notice how your own seer responds in the hours after this video ends. Thank you for listening.